Should have got those apple bottom boots with the fur,
National Comedy presents
Funny Girls Guide.
your weekly podcast on how to live your life shamelessly with a laugh. I am one of your hosts, Ashley Ella Park, joined with the ever so lovely
Mandy Heinzelman Smith.
And we are getting witchy with it, babies.
Getting witchy with it. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Oh my gosh.
That's a cat.
We are so lucky to have in-house witch Rebecca Pappa, who, if you listened to last week's episode, I hope you did, so you can get all the permission to put olive oil all over your salad because it's delicious.
It's delicious.
You need that fat. Her sister Abra was on last week, and so Becky has been on the podcast before. She's at the Dreamers Daily Tonic. She is an art therapist, a witch, a poet, travel addict. Like, she's amazing.
I mean, just incredible presence.
Yeah.
Like I said this last week, I'm like, those papas, they bring that good energy. Like when you see their like gorgeous faces, you're just like, I feel a light.
Yeah.
I feel like a veil of light over me. Like both of them have like such wonderful energy.
Yeah,
How
for
lucky
sure.
are we to have double papas?
Yes, we are so lucky because, okay, we just did this interview and I feel like it is a feel good interview. It's going to give you like so many tools, no matter where you're at in your life, to go and like, what do you want? What's your best self, and like different tactics for like going into a new season to achieve it.
Yeah. Do you feel like you've been witchy in the past? Do you feel like, are you exploring more witchiness?
Well,
I'm looking at witchy stuff.
Okay, so yeah, so I these were birthday presents, very witchy things, but I feel like, and I know you and I have talked about this before, but I feel like I used to have like an intuitiveness where I just like would know things, and I'm getting back to that. I abandoned it because I abandoned myself for a while. I'm serious though, but I'm getting back to like listening to my intuition, and I'm like, you know, we've talked about this where I'm like, a psychic told me I'm psychic and now I'm psychic, but like, no, I'm not psychic, but I'm like, I'm definitely intuitive. So that's my witchy side.
I love that.
And I know you know so much witchy stuff. Ashley's always like, I don't know, but she does. She knows so much.
But I'm like diet witch, you know, like I'm not Dr. Pepper. I'm Mr. Pibb with this. Like I'm not on brand. Like I feel like I'm like, okay, I'm kind of like fumbling through shit, but I lost my tarot cards. They're gone. I looked through my house because I was going to do a reading for my friend Teresa.
Yeah.
And they're gone. So I don't know what that means.
It doesn't mean anything. It means that you need a new pack of tarot cards.
But maybe they just served me and they're like, bye, bitch.
They just left.
They left.
Let's go get you a new pack of tarot cards. It sounds like we need to go to our local metaphysical witch shop anyway, because we need some candles, as you'll hear from Becky coming up in the interview.
It's so good. I know I need to make us stop by, but
yeah,
I mean, I have to say, in Austin, I like Crystal Works. Have you been to Crystal Works?
No, I haven't been anywhere.
It's delightful. I think Crystal Works is really nice. It's got like good vibes in there. When I go in, I'm like, okay, this feels nice. And I've been to Nature's Treasures, and they've got some good stuff. It just doesn't feel like the same energy. Like, I really like the energy at Crystal Works. That's just my.
Would they have
my
tarot
hot take.
cards for you?
Oh yeah.
Okay, let's go.
So I just need to go in there and be like, what we got? What we working with?
I liked that one day you showed up and you were like, oh, my crystal fell out of my wallet. I was like, oh, I didn't know how into this we were. And now I'm like, I love it.
How life has changed, because it used to be, oh, my drugs fell out of my wallet. Let me get my edible. Or like, that's what it used to be when like my 20s. I'm like, whoops, my like weed fell out. Got it.
Oh my God. At least we know we're not dropping tampons. You'll hear about that in a little bit.
We have got just a wonderful episode.
With an angel witch.
An angel.
She's an angel witch. Get your altars ready, bitches.
Maybe.
Okay, you guys remember, this is Rebecca Pappa. She's been on the podcast before. She teaches us all about witchy things and therapy and all of the beautiful things of the universe. Here we are.
Art therapy, everything. She's our main witch. Let's go.
Our main witch.
I love this job so much. It's not even a job, but it makes me so happy.
Oh my God, when we start making money though, we're going to be like, we're going to pay you. Becky, she's like our in-house witch.
Yeah,
That's
I
right.
mean, it's wonderful. And y'all, if y'all are not watching this on YouTube, she has gorgeous bangs, still gorgeous bangs, and she's gone fall, and she has an altar behind her. I mean, this is like a legit setup. It's gorgeous and major fall vibes. Major.
100%. I thought today, since Halloween is coming, if we want to talk about Altars 101. I could also help you
Oh
with
my
how to
gosh.
build your fall altar.
Yeah, I want to know how to
Yes.
build a fall altar and how to like
Please.
support yourself during this like season of change. You know what I mean?
That's right.
Like
That's
I know
right.
we were talking before we started recording that like it's going to be really cold where you are, and like, you know, that's something to mentally prepare yourself. I feel like even though we like want the change of seasons, it can be a little
It could
hard.
be daunting. It could be a daunting season.
Yeah, absolutely. We're like entering the deep silence. And it's an intense experience. So now we need to kind of honor this shedding and prepare, right? I don't know about you guys, but I'm sure you don't have to deal with this there, but here it's like we literally need to prepare. Like we need to build out some stockpile of food. You know, we get 2 feet of snow, we're stuck here. And so we need to be really ready to keep it cozy and supportive in the house. So
Yeah. And as you guys know, so Becky is Abra's sister who was on last week. And like, if you heard about us talking about food and the way that their family cooks, like I know you want to eat well. You don't just want to eat like food.
Yeah.
You want to eat well.
We're not doing ramen.
100%. No. She was here yesterday and she gave my pantry a once over and was like, nice. And that felt like a very big compliment.
High praise. High praise.
She totally approved. So
Oh my gosh. I remember one time we were like extremely hungover and we both sat and ate like 4 avocados each. That was our hangover snack.
Lots of
avocado
energy.
with balsamic in the middle. Remember?
Yes.
Oh.
Oh, I still do that. You taught me how
Yeah.
to do that and I still do
Yeah.
that.
Oh my
I
God.
love that. I
And
do
salt.
lemon.
Lemon juice, and then some chia seeds in there. Just throw them in there. Just pop.
Look
pop,
at
pop.
you.
Yeah.
What is chia seed for your body?
Chia seeds, like they have nutrients, but it also makes you feel fuller faster.
Oh, good. I need that too,
They
actually.
They enlarge.
They're one of those superfoods from
Okay.
Peru, I think.
I think.
Oh,
they're
listen
from
to you
Peru.
from
Yeah.
Peru. You guys know things.
Well,
Teach me.
she knows things. She knows everything. She's our maid witch. Okay. Do you know about the full moon that's coming up? There's like evidently supposed to be a big full moon, y'all, and it's I could be messing this up. We'll see. An Aries supermoon, possibly. Yes, we did it.
This is
See, you
correct.
know. You like, she does know.
Yes, it's October 20th. I don't know if this podcast will air before, probably after.
Well,
Oh, okay. So the Aries full moon is on the 20th. I'm Eastern Standard Time. So for me, it's 10:57 a.m. So for y'all, that's 9:57 a.m. in Texas. Is that right?
Okay.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And so Aries, you want to know a little bit about this? So
Yeah.
Yes.
Tell
Tell
us.
us everything.
Okay.
And then how to use our crystals for it, because I don't know how to charge my crystals. Sorry.
Okay. You got it. Good question.
Like I brought
So-
them. I brought them to show you. I was like, this is what I'm working with. I
I'm
have
so
a
proud of you.
charger.
You have a
I have
crystal
this.
pouch.
I've been sleeping with this on my chest because I've not been
Beautiful.
sleeping well. So anyway,
Which
go
one
tell
is
us
that?
the things.
It's black.
Um,
Is it obsidian?
Yes, I think so.
Yes. Uh-huh.
Obsidian,
Yeah.
yeah.
Wonderful. It's a great absorbent. They actually call that the crystal for the mental health practitioner as well. So I have one on my
Aw.
desk because it helps absorb any anxiety or negative energy that's kind of around you
Beautiful.
and purify the space.
Oh, that's beautiful.
So yes, so the Aries full moon is okay. Aries is a fire sign. I don't know if you know any Aries, or I don't believe either of you are Aries. No.
No, I know some Aries though.
Mm-hmm.
And
So they're
fiery.
fiery. Yeah. And they're also I love this way of describing Aries. It's called the dawn of time because they're the first sign of the zodiac. So it's like the infant. So think about it as like the spark of creation, the big boom, like, you know, those moments where you get a creative flash, and sometimes they can burn out really quick. Sometimes it doesn't have the follow through, but there's a lot of heat and a lot of potential with it. So for this full moon, it's, you know, in order to honor that energy, especially if you want to do something like you want to charge your crystals, you want to have an altar. I'm trying to pack all this information in. You want to make sure that you have candles, red candles, ideally, because that's going to honor the fire sign and supercharge
Where
it
do you
a bit.
get your red candles? Like, where do you get those beautiful black candles behind you? Or where'd you get red ones?
Yeah, these are great. So my local witch shop from Brooklyn, they actually have a great online store. It's called Catland Books. They're amazing. You can order any supplies from them. They ship super quick. I really enjoy their stuff. But if you want to support local, I'm sure near you, just look up a metaphysical shop and they'll have little tapers, all different colors. And I can give you all a candle magic 101.
Oh, yes, please.
Another
Ashley makes candles. I'm going to make
I'm
you
a
make
very
it.
amateur candle maker. Very amateur.
She says that. You're good.
I'm not on
candle maker.
sticks though. I'm sticks is like a next level. That's like PhD
Oh,
candles.
okay.
I'm but a mere undergrad.
Yes, yes. But any candle, if you're making it yourself, actually, that's a great ritual for a moon like this for the two of you to make candles and get the dye blocks. So you can make your own red candles. You just mix a little bit of the dye block in.
And then done and done.
Yeah. I used to do them in a thrift store, like goblets, like old, like glass containers. Yeah. You can make them in anything and they can be really fun. So
I'm very creepy and I call them vessels. I'm like, find a good vessel. I'm like your candle vessel.
Oh, I love that.
Isn't it? It's such a great word.
Creepy though. I'm like, I feel like I am maybe a warlock, but like an evil one.
Find your vessel.
Find
your vessel and use it. So the full moon is this week and it's a great time. Full moons are a great time of release. So think about anything that you've been carrying that you're ready to let go of and what initiation is waiting for you on the other side. And that's that like Aries spark. And it's a great time to burn things in the fire that are no longer serving you. So like write out a list, think about the things that you are releasing and gift it to the fire. And that doesn't need to be aggressive. It can actually just be a really beautiful thing to watch something disappear in that way.
Yes.
Oh, I love that. Okay, so October 20th, get those wishes out, get those affirmations out.
What day is October 20th?
And you can also, this is important, you can work with the full moon energy 3 days after, 3 days before. It's with you. So if you can't get it right at that moment, it's okay to like take a little bit of time.
Yeah, because I felt that when you said that. I'm like, I could use a little bit of that in my life right now, but I'm leaving for Paris tomorrow, so I can't. But I could do it today because we're 2 days before.
You can do this in Paris.
I
will find
Parisian
you a witch shop in Paris.
Yes.
I should do it in Paris.
You should. Yeah.
You totally should.
I don't know what witch is in French. I know in Spanish it's bruja, but get to that store.
Bruja.
Yes. I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
I think it sounds like sorcerer, but much more elegant than that.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. Yes.
I'm going to look it up. I was like, I'm going to sit and learn French on the plane.
Duolingo,
Yeah.
There you go.
I know a little. It'll be fine. Oh my gosh.
Okay, tell us about altars. We have this gorgeous altar behind you. It is like Instagram beautiful vibes.
It looks so authentic. I'm like,
Yes.
we are blessed right now with the presence
I
of
know.
Becky in this altar.
I'm like, oh.
And we're all wearing black.
Oh,
I'm sorry. I just noticed that too.
I appreciate that.
Memo.
Yeah, we did. I'm always in black. It's the New Yorker in me that will never die. I will always be head to toe in black. It is my season for that too. So let's talk about altars. Let's see. So Halloween's coming up, right? It's a time to, for me, always honor ancestors. It's, Samhain is the next day, but Celtic traditions were celebrated at night. That's what Halloween is based on. And it's basically the ushering in of the winter, just like we were talking about before. So it's marking the end of the harvest and we're going into the winter. So altars are a way to set up a sacred space for yourself. Okay. It's a great way to think about what do I want to honor within myself? What needs a little extra supercharge in my life? Like what could use that extra oomph that I'm trying to work through for myself? And so altars, always, I choose an altar cloth, and that color can be based on, if it's a full moon, something that's white or silver or iridescent, something like that. If it's, let's see, if we're honoring the full moons in Saturn or, those planets are involved, you choose a color that honors the planet. So with Aries, like I said, red candles. You can do something luminous for the moon, but you always want to anchor it with the 4 elements. So something from earth, something from water, something from air, and some fire. So for me, I always
The Craft. That makes me think about The Craft.
Yes, one of my favorite Halloween watches, hands down.
Amazing.
You've got to.
I still like to pretend I'm in The Craft, 100%.
Oh,
obviously, yes.
Yeah, call me Nev. Let's go.
Yes, seriously. It's so good. So you want to anchor it with all of those pieces, and you want to look at in, north, south, east, and west. And so air is east, fire is south. I hope I'm not messing this up. Water is west, and earth is north, I believe. I might have one of two
I'm
of those.
directionally challenged.
Okay.
Do you know your north, south, east, west?
Oh yeah.
Which way is north right now?
That's east.
How do you know that?
Because East Austin is that way.
Oh my God. Okay.
It's a compass, so that's how I know that. I just use the compass, the
Maybe I
compass
should get
app.
Compass. Okay,
And then you
perfect.
anchor each corner with that, and then you want to add in personal elements, right?
Will you take a picture for us so we can get like a close up? I want to see like a close up to put on
Yeah,
Instagram.
of course. 100%. I will send it to you guys. And then you want to burn something, or some people put food out around it to honor it. Like this moon for Aries, they're suggesting things like garlic, sharper herbs. And for the moon, typically you can put out like poppy seeds or grapes, things that are round and pretty and lovely. So you want to build out the altar, and then that is your space where you sit, where you journal, where maybe you meditate on the things that you want to shift or release or change in your life. And then you can do the same thing for the new moon, which is typically about 2 weeks later, which is, what am I planting? What are the seeds that I want to grow? So instead of the releasing, then we're taking time to kind of plant what we want in our lives.
Oh, I love
It sounds like a good way to set like intentional living into place. So you're not just like going through
100%.
your life being like, this is what I do. I'm busy. I am this. I'm that. Like you are so much more than that. We're so much more than that.
Oh yeah, it's good to like self-reflect. Like, what do I want out of? I think it's nice even like, what do I want out of this month, or like, what are some goals here? It's kind of nice to like have those like realizations.
Yeah, those shorter term check-ins, that just in this moment, what do I need? What do I feel like I could do better for myself? Where am I hurting? Where can I offer gentleness? Whatever, whatever we're moving through, because there's always something. And one of the fun old witch tips too is as females or people who cycle, where does your period fall? Does your period fall on the full moon? And if your period's falling on the full moon, that used to mean that it's a great time for your career and your creativity. If your period's falling on the new moon, it's a time for like love, relationships, fertility, babies. So
all the things. Oh my
gosh.
God. Well, now that I have this stupid IUD, I'm like all over the place. I'm like, you're messing up with my witch stuff.
Yes. Yes. Witches did not account for science back then.
Wait, do you still get your period? You get a period?
It's real like not really ever since
Like,
I
are
got the IUD.
are you happier with it
It's
like that though?
Yeah, it's been good. But
Okay.
I used to like being like, oh, my moon sister over here. If like, one of my like friends and I were on like the same cycle, we'd always be like, moon sisters, let's go.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah,
great.
because I'm on a birth control that I don't get a period either. So I'm like, oh, am I missing out? No, I'm not missing out. It was so painful. Cramps down your legs or no period. I'm just gonna stick with what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Sorry, moon cycle.
Sorry, moon cycle.
Namaste. Okay, I have a couple other little things here that I wanted to ask you. Okay, so my friend also got me sage. Like,
Great.
do you tell me what you do with the sage?
So we could have a long conversation about this, but there's a lot of ethics that have come up around sage. Okay. So appropriation, also like white sage specifically, becoming really difficult for Indigenous people to get their hands on because all of us white women are overbuying it. Yours doesn't look like white sage. Yours looks like blue sage, which would be grown. I mean, French women have been growing that in their garden for ages. I grow it in my own garden, right? So these are, and I think I mentioned this last time, like tapping into your own magic lineage. Mandy, German, right?
And French.
And French.
I got my 23andMe back. It's actually a hodgepodge, but that's where that basic.
There we go.
Yeah, and a lot of
Perfect.
Neanderthal. Anyway,
Yeah.
you have
So
more
French
Neanderthal
women
than
French women would absolutely burn sage. That was maybe not in the same way that we have, taken from Indigenous people who, they use it to clear spaces, etc. But, that would have been an herb that was present then. And so it's just about, recognizing it, honoring that it's maybe not ours exactly, but that we're using it as well. I have some on my altar. I really like juniper is something that I burn a lot, which is great. That also comes in bundles. And when you do it, typically you want to walk into each corner of your house and say a mantra. What is it that you are releasing from the house, and what is it that you are welcoming in? So really kind of taking your time and walking through your space to refresh, especially if you're going through some deep emotional experiences. I always do it, and I always feel different.
Oh, I won't mention names, but my friend recently went through a really bad breakup, like really, really bad breakup, and found out some really sad stuff. And really devastated by this breakup. And someone had gifted me sage a while back. It was a beautiful, like, greenish color. It was like green blue. Is that what it is? It's blue sage then, if it's got
blue
that.
Sage.
Okay. It was so pretty. And I was like, okay, we're busting this out. And I had him do this in his house. And he said, and he was not really a full believer, he had a mantra. He was going around. He cleansed his mirrors and all the corners, like everything. Yeah. And he said he felt better.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, smoke, the science behind it is that smoke purifies spaces, is that is what smoke does. I mean, it can also preserve things, right? Think about fish. That's how we like preserve fishes and things like that. So there is something to it that's happening. It cleanses, it takes away the smells in the house. You know, it's a great way. I don't know if you guys
it
have
smells
pets.
Great. Yeah.
It smells great, and it takes away the pet smell for me and my cats. So it's
that's like when people like matches
double bonus.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But it was just so funny because, like, he was kind of like, I don't know about this. And then he started getting really into it. And then he got emotional at certain parts because there would be certain parts in the house that clearly, like, had a lot of memories.
Yeah.
And he was, like, saging the fuck out of it. Like, let's go. Get out of here.
Yeah.
Yes, totally. You know, I think there's energetic and emotional ghosts that are left behind when you're going through something that's intense like that, you know, where memories are held. And so you're cleansing it. You're saying, I see it, but I need this to be cleansed out of my space so I can heal.
Yeah,
for sure.
And I think giving yourself permission to be like, I don't have to carry this memory of it. You can make like a new memory. A new one.
Yeah, absolutely.
You've got a deck.
I do. Okay, so Foxtrot, you guys, if you've been listening for a little while, we're not allowed to say their name on Foxtrot got me these. My very first tarot cards. It's like you pull the one card a day kind. It's the Starseed Oracle. Do you know this one, Becky?
Starseed Oracle. Yes.
She knows it. She likes it. She likes it. I can tell.
Her face
really
lit
funny,
up,
Mandy, because I have it in my shopping cart to buy this week because I've never bought it for myself, but I've recommended it to so many people. It's really funny that that's the first one that you got.
It's a sign. Oh, I want to talk about signs after this. Don't let me forget. I feel like you're really good at remembering. You're both really good at remembering.
Familiars also.
Signs and familiars. I want to talk about.
Signs and familiars. Those two.
Yeah, because I heard someone say recently, like, are these signs or am I forcing it? Am I forcing signs? So anyway, back to the tarot. Okay, so so you just really just pull one a day? Is that what you do?
Yeah. So each oracle cards, you can pull one a day. You can pull multiple. There's no hard rules.
It won't explode.
Yes, it will not explode.
I don't want to break the
really
rules.
Stressed out, I will have like 6 decks around me and just keep pulling until I hear what I want to hear, basically. And okay, I just did that to myself. But
I mean, at least you're being honest with yourself about it.
Oh yeah, yes, definitely. Unfortunately, I have to do that with myself. But the Starseed are really beautiful.
It's gorgeous.
She just
what did
pulled
you get,
one.
Ashley?
It says, forge, don't follow. Pave a new path. Be the leader you wish you had. I mean, like, these are, like, just fun, like, motivational things. So not your standard tarot deck.
Not your standard tarot deck. It's Oracle, but Oracle is...
Oracle, okay.
I mean, when you get a message like that at the start of your day, sometimes it's just what you need to hear. And I believe that Spirit has a hand in, you know, showing us what we need, or kind of like gently nudging us on the path of what we need to see and what we need to pay attention to. And, you know, that card, when I see you, Ashley, that card makes perfect sense. You know, I could see you as a leader. I feel that in your energy. So
thank
it's
you.
also affirmation. And I just think that's so
I
powerful.
love that.
It feels like a good starter way, like a good starter pack. But you told me, so when the first week that I got it, I pulled the same card 3 days that week.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yep.
and it was
That's
the
a
7
sign.
sisters, and it was like you are meant to birth something creatively. And so I was
Yes.
like, okay, and then I pulled it again, and then I pulled it again, like
Yep.
like 3
Wow.
different days. So I was like, okay, I need to really sit with this. And I actually talked with Becky about it because I was like, I feel like I'm meant to write something, but I'm not ready. And you're like, wait till you're ready.
Oh,
That's
I
it.
love that.
That's it. But that's called a stalker card. And that happens with me sometimes in tarot. It just keeps coming out. And you're like, didn't I learn this message already? But
Oh my gosh, I love that. Wait, what's yours?
Okay, I just pulled one. Can we pull one for you too? Is
Yeah.
that allowed?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Is that allowed?
Is that allowed? I
Will we
mean,
go to
you're
tarot
our
jail?
witch. I'm like, can we pull cards for our in-house witch? I don't know.
yes.
Fall into my arms, surrender, holding the opposites, extremes of life.
That's really special.
Makes me want to cry.
Honoring the duality that things can be devastatingly beautiful and devastatingly painful at the same time in life. And letting yourself have both.
And surrender.
That's really special.
Can we? Let's pull one for Becky.
You're getting
Let's pull one
therapist,
for
Becky.
Here. Put that
I
back
love
in.
that. I want therapist Becky. I like all
We
the
love
therapy.
therapist Becky.
We do. In my Instagram, like it's like my Instagram, have I told you this? Thinks I'm a therapist. All of my ads are like, do you want to go back to school for your PhD? Or like
All your ads are
all my ads are like, for your clients. And I see it's like a therapist. I'm like, I need to stop talking around my
amazing.
phone. I'm like, okay, I feel this one.
Yeah, I feel that
Okay.
one too.
Do you?
Yeah, I did. I was like, yeah, that one's
Okay,
calling
this one's
me.
for Becky.
Okay.
Whoa.
That's a jumper
Oh
card.
my gosh. We
It's
got
the
a
same
jumper
one.
card and it's the same one that
It's the
Ashley had.
same one.
Force don't follow. Pave a new path. Be the leader you wish you had. Now, okay, so to go with that, like I just had goosebumps. Like
That was
okay,
weird.
so there's this cute book that goes with it. So that's not all it gives you. We are not getting paid for this, you guys.
Yes.
But it has this beautiful book that goes. It's just like a short little read on it, and it goes further into depth, like on your card, and it gives you like a soul inquiry to like ask yourself, like what question, like how can you sit with it long enough so that it doesn't stalk you.
Yeah, which I love.
Beautiful deck.
And so you kind of mentioned this, that this is kind of the gateway into tarot, right? Tarot and Oracle, I kind of pull in together. You know, you can use them to support one another. But the books, I feel like the questions, that's kind of the way that I like to read tarot, is that each card has a question. I think I said this to you guys in our last interview. And so to really, and I think those cards have activations too. You're supposed to hold it to your chest and like read it out loud. Some of them have an activation with it, not all.
I like that.
Yeah. So it's a really beautiful practice.
Oh my
And
God.
when there are people that don't believe, here's my counter to that is, what is the harm in sitting down and pulling a card that has a message like that on it?
Yeah.
It's beautiful to inspire
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
You know, when you read cards for me the last time, you were like, you're going to be rebirthed, and like it was true.
Mm-hmm. I pulled the death card again today before our talk, just to like pull some cards on the podcast.
Ooh,
So
we got
I
changed.
feel that energy, right? And that card is all about letting go of one identity, one part of yourself, and stepping into a new one. So it's here. It's here. I wrote a little offering to all of your listeners and to you too, if you would like.
Yes,
I would
please.
would like
love
to
that.
have
How
it.
thoughtful, Becky.
It's a ritual suggestion based on me pulling the death card and what the collective may need to hear today, your listeners, etc. And so when I think about death and when I think about Halloween, I also think about ghosts. And I think about all of the remnants that are left behind when we end something in this life. When we end a relationship, when we end, we get fired from a job, maybe we're left with like remnants of feeling bad about ourselves that we have to work for years to kind of let go of. So whatever that thing is for you, if you can kind of sit down and look at the endings you've had in your life and what is still with you that needs to be shed to kind of get you to that next phase. What are you still emotionally like percolating with from that experience, and how do you let go of it? And so my offering is to sit and write those things down that you want to let go of. And you can do one of two things. You can bury it in the earth with an offering, whether it's a seed or a crystal, and say you're releasing it, or you can release it into water, because the Halloween takes place in the season of Scorpio, and Scorpio is ruled by the water. Deep, dark water is kind of the Scorpio feeling. It's like our deepest desires. And so it's a really supportive time to let go of what's not there so we can get closer, so we can kind of dive deeper into who we're meant to be. So that's
God, I love that.
Oh my gosh.
Becky, you're just like blowing it out of the water.
Blowing it out of the water, seriously.
Like, wow.
I'm like, I don't, that hits on everything. I feel like that any person could use. Yeah.
Yeah, hit the water, y'all. Like hit or the earth, but like get out there and like,
whichever one calls more to you, you know.
Get it.
Yeah, but wait, I thought for a second you were gonna say fire, since we had just talked about that. Is that an option?
So, and if you want to do this at the full moon instead of Halloween, but Halloween is kind of the time where we really examine, and the veil is thinner with ghosts, right?
Yeah.
But if you want to do it for the full moon, absolutely. And have a fire and have your friends around you, do it together, have your partners there, talk about it, burn it, drink to it, celebrate, thank the spirits, thank the fire, you know? Like, these are ways that we get back in touch with the earth. And doesn't mean we can't return to our screens the next day, but you know, take an hour or so to like really be with the elements and old ritual and see how it can transform.
That makes me think too of like sort of being you can't always be thankful for like what you've been through, but we all go through things that hopefully hopefully it transforms you. Hopefully you're able to like eventually like let go and be like, that got me to this place, or that's what I had to do at this time, or you know, to get to where I am.
100%. When I look back at like the most painful moments in my adult life, I would say that they always preceded the biggest spurts of growth, like without a doubt. Was I thankful for it? No. Am I still pissed about some of them? Absolutely, because I'm human. But you know, I can acknowledge that it was an accelerator for me. It was an accelerant. It like pushed me into the things that I really wanted for myself. So
that's so wise though, knowing that you can like hold space for both. You can be like, this gave me growth, and also it was really shitty, and yet you have to feel both of those things. Yeah,
totally. I think that's the hardest work in therapy, is like getting to a point of accepting that, where it's like you have to let go of that black and white thinking, and you have to just be able to sit with the two, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's hard.
It's hard, and I think it does make you like more flexible and more open to life too.
Yeah.
And not so afraid to get hurt, because I think we're all, I don't know, you know, there's like that fear of like of those things hurting you, but like how can you grow and move forward if you can't?
Yeah, you know, 100%. And it's like the oh God, who is it? Martha Beck, I think, and Glennon Doyle, or no, Martha Beck and Elizabeth Gilbert talked about like walking into the fire, like knowingly walking into the fire. You know, it's going to hurt you. But you also know that fire is transformative, right? And so it's like the willingness to endure that kind of pain to get to something that we know is going to be eventually more supportive.
That's fucking powerful.
Yeah. Oh my God, those two. And Glennon Doyle. My God, if you're not, you know, I don't know if you guys have read Untamed or listened to her, but good God.
I thought about reading that again, actually. I'm debating between, I'm like, I've went a little too far into self-help zone. So I'm like, do I want to read it again? Maybe, or do I want to read a real book? You know, it's a hard choice.
Sometimes you need a break from the self-help. And so
I know. Yeah. And still trust that you're growing even when it doesn't feel like it. If you're not,
you're integrating, you're like giving it time to digest.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You want to know about familiars. Ashley has one. Ashley has a familiar.
Okay.
We see it all the time. Together.
Okay. And I don't know if I mentioned this the last time the podcast. I couldn't remember, but I see hawks everywhere. I mean, everywhere I go, I see hawks. There was one time I saw 3 hawks on a fence and they were just staring at me. And I was like, I took a photo of it because I couldn't believe it. But it was 3 like red-chested hawks and they were so gorgeous. And I was like, what the hell is it? I see the hawks everywhere, like all the time.
But you feel like, you know, your intuition tells you what it is.
I don't know. Like,
What do you think it is?
I feel like it's like a weird sign of like pursuit for me.
Yes.
Of like, because I'll see
You've
them.
always said that. That has to be true. That's what you've always felt.
Like,
that.
I'll be like thinking about like, oh, where am I going with my career and all this other stuff. I'll be like thinking things, or I'll be thinking through like a creative project and I'll like feel it almost. This sounds crazy. I'm sorry.
No, it does
But,
not
like,
at all.
It doesn't. I'm like, and there's a hawk. Like,
No, we're here with
is.
you. And I know all the matchers are here. We're here. We're here in this together.
My hawks.
They're her hawks. That's kind of like signs and being like, okay, well, it's a sign and I trust my gut on it. And also, am I pushing that? But like, no,
Yeah, I've had that moment of like,
Of
am I reading
course.
into this?
we can hold space for both.
Of course, right? Because it's hard to really accept it, you know, but it's interesting that you say hawks. That's actually a sign that I was having for months. And so I did a lot of research into
And you pulled
their
the same
Venus.
sign,
the same
the same card.
Yes. Uh-huh. And so for me now, when I see them and I see them more often, for me, it's a sign of get the higher perspective. Like sometimes when you get too in the nitty gritty of how is this going to happen, like, and you're trying to plan more of like the minute moves, you know, whether it's in my business or my creative life, it's step out, step up, try to see the whole picture. Try to trust that when you go above and you kind of expand, that the knowledge will be there and the day-to-day stuff will happen. But it's this like invitation to come up and out and see more. And also hawks' eyesight is like the most perfect eyesight on earth. They can see a tiny little field mouse from hundreds of feet in the air across a field. So it's also trusting that you have the vision.
Oh my God, I love that. I'm gonna be looking at those hawks differently now and be
Oh
like,
my
all right,
God.
we're gonna go macro. We're not going micro.
Oh my
That's it. That's
God.
it. That's it.
I love that.
Take a
I don't
moment,
have a
step
familiar,
out.
but I always say that it's roadkill because I always notice roadkill. I'm like
A beautiful familiar.
beautiful familiar, or like I feel like broccoli could be my familiar. I love broccoli, like roasted and burnt with lemon in olive oil, you know, with salt. Doesn't that sound good?
A delicious familiar.
Delicious familiar. How do you know like what your familiar is, and it can change? It sounds like you're saying too.
Yeah, I think it can change. You know, I just have a dream that one day I will have a black cat that's a familiar, please. And so I can be like fully solidified as a witch.
Yes.
Actually, I was in, where was I? Honduras with a few friends of mine, and we were staying on an island, and we were staying in this like gorgeous house overlooking the water. And this black cat just came walking up and like jumped on my lap. And for the whole time I was there, I let it sleep in my room. I let it stay in bed with me.
Yes. That's just
So I
speaking
guess
my
I
language.
did have a moment of that. But I feel like cats for me, even though my one cat hates me because she just loves my husband and wants him for herself all of the time. And my other big boy just couldn't really be bothered. But I do feel like cats are like my thing.
I
Yes.
love that.
Yes.
Aw. There was one more
And you?
thing that we were trying to get.
You said
Signs?
Signs. Oh my gosh, how do you remember? Thank you for having a good memory.
Therapist
Signs,
brain.
yes. Therapist brain.
You're like, I got it.
Yes.
That must
Yeah.
happen a lot in your sessions where people are like, okay, I've got like X, Y, and Z. And you're like, okay, checklist, got it.
Yep. Or I'll bring back things from 3 years ago and they're like, how do you remember that?
Like,
From
no
being
way.
an actor in a previous life and
Right.
getting good at remembering scripts. I swear to God, it's like what has helped my memory the most.
Oh my gosh.
But
That's
it's here. It's a
amazing.
trap. Signs. I'm going to say if you haven't read Signs, The Secret Language of the Universe by Laura Linney Jackson, I highly, highly recommend it. it is a whole, she's a medium, and it's a whole book on, you know, her working with signs or encouraging clients to ask for signs from their loved ones who have passed.
Oh my gosh. That sounds
and
so
it's really
intense.
powerful. It's some of the stories, they're quite intense and sad, but really beautiful.
Yeah.
But I will say I used some of the approaches from that book while I was traveling like 3 years ago, and got consistent signs that also were kind of bizarre for where I was, you know. So
Yeah.
I feel like one sign people always say is like, oh, I look down and I see like 11:11 on my phone, or like, yeah.
Oh God, yeah. Time synchronicities. And then you can look up numerology and like what that means. I see that a lot. I see 333 all of the time. That's always been my number.
Whoa, weird, because like 3 is like the witchy number too. So like you're seeing 3 of those suckers. Wow.
Yeah. And this goes back to, I mean, when I was a young kid, I would wake up in the middle of the night at 3:33 in the morning. And someone told me, and I swear it was a priest who told me this, that if you wake up and see that time, it means that like the devil is after you. So I was terrified as a child. That is not true.
Tell a kid.
No,
that's not true.
It's not true. But yeah, so synchronicities with that. White feathers. I was traveling in Scotland, and I found a white feather on the ground, and this woman who owned the inn that we were staying at, she was an older Scottish woman, and she told me that in their beliefs, it's your ancestors trying to send you a message, somebody that passed that you love. Like anytime you see a white feather is a message from them, which I think is really sweet.
I love that. Oh, wait, are you Scottish?
According to my ancestry, yes, I am. I'm like 17% Scottish, which I did not know, which is pretty high percentage.
Yeah.
My grandmother didn't know her lineage, so that's like one reason why I wanted to get it done, because she never really knew where her family came from. So from her, it turns out I am Scottish, Irish, and French.
And you saw it over in the homeland. This little white feather. I love that.
Really fascinating. Any other witchy questions?
I mean, is there anything else that we need to know, like going into, I know, right?
Wait, cleansing crystals. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Cleansing crystals for dummies. Here we are, 2 dummies on a couch.
You're not a dummy. I'm brand new.
I don't think I'm doing it right, though. I don't think I'm doing it right.
My 5-year-old, my kids are really into crystals right now, too. And my 5-year-old shepherd let me borrow his cleanser because he knows I don't have one. He's like, you have to give it back. But
that emits light.
Yeah. It's like
selenite.
Selenite? Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love selenite. Do you see my selenite? I'll send you a picture, but it's like a
I want to see up close.
Ball of selenite.
Here, give me that sucker. Look at this.
Yeah.
My friend told me about this, which I was like, what? They transmit light really like.
Oh,
see?
what?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, if you guys aren't watching on YouTube, Ashley just used the flashlight on her phone, and it's literally, it looks, oh my gosh, that's so cool.
Is it cool? Yeah. So you can make a
So how do you do it? How do you use that to like charge your crystals?
Amazing. So selenite is something that a lot of people will use if they don't have sage or something that you can burn, juniper, mugwort, whatever, to kind of cleanse the body. That's one crystal that they believe is like really high vibrational and can help kind of clear out negative energies. I have a wand that I'll like sit with it on my chest when I'm feeling really anxious and just kind of breathe, and that feels really nice and supportive. But when we're talking about cleansing crystals, my favorite way to do it is under the full moon. And you don't want to do it under like an eclipse. That can kind of mess with the energies, but in a reflective bowl. So if you have like a silver bowl, putting your crystals inside of that and putting that underneath or just outside wherever the moon rays would hit it. They say that is one of the best ways. Also, you can put it in dirt, like in a house plant for a few days, and then pull it up. And that's supposed to kind of take away, you know, the earth kind of takes away any of the energies that was there, and it comes back out cleansed again.
Okay. So it's not really about charging. It's about cleansing. From
cleansing and charging. Like it kind of takes on the elements and the power of that moon. And I always make moon water, which is putting like a big jug of water with like I use a ball jar top that screws so that it's held in there, and I will write on the outside my intentions for it, or a wish, or whatever that may be, and put it outside where there's access to the moonlight, and then drink it afterwards, or use it in rituals, or put it in a bath.
So this might be a good thing to do for the new moon, because this is going to be, I guess, like a creative moon with like Aries and all this good stuff happening. Should we do it the night of the 19th or do it the night of the 20th?
So good question. I would usually do the night of the 19th, because by the time it hits morning, it's full. And so that energy is there, but you could do it for both. You could leave it out for 2 if you want to make sure it's catching.
It's locked and loaded. I never would have thought to do that. And I'm curious about like, okay, are there more things that we don't know that like, how do you remember all of your like rituals and things? And like, how do you prioritize which ones to do? Or just what you feel?
I was birthed by a witch. So I feel like I grew up my whole life. We either had witches coming to the house to read our cards, or shamans doing, cleansing rituals of our house. Our house was very haunted growing up. Story for another, for another day.
Oh my God. Yeah. We need to get
Can we, you're coming back on.
Yeah. We have to have ghost talk after this.
We love ghosts. I don't know if you, when in your 5-hour binge of FGG, we love ghosts. That was our first episode, I think. So we went ghost hunting.
And we found one.
And we scared the shit out of each other.
Yeah, it was great.
Really, that's amazing.
You should come here to Austin, and we should stay over in the haunted room at the Driscoll Hotel. That's what we're going to do.
So in 100%.
Mega haunted. It's like one of the oldest buildings in town. It's like mega haunted.
So cool. I just bought a whole book of, because we recently moved to the Catskills, all of the haunted stories of the areas around here. So I'm taking all of that in. Yeah. So fun. So fun. So you asked, are there other things that we should know? I mean, I think the most important thing is to honor what you're drawn to. Like, all of this is individual, just like anything else. So for me, water is always what I'm drawn to. It's my favorite way of cleansing. For other people, they might really love being in the sun. And so fire is going to be like an element for them to work with.
That's not yours, because we know you need more vitamin D. Her doctor. She's starting out winter with low vitamin D. We're deficient.
Damn it.
Yes. I am going to be taking vitamin D supplements, or convincing my husband to move to an island for the next 3 months. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
Maybe both.
Maybe both. Why not?
Get it.
My sister the other day was like, you can really milk this one if you want to. I was like, great.
Yeah.
I'm so glad. Permission granted.
The doctor said.
That's right.
That's
right. That's right. Exactly.
I interrupted you though. What you were telling? Do what you're drawn to.
No, you just asked what else should people know, and I really think it's just follow what you're drawn to and look it up. Get curious. One of my other teachers, they talk about everyday magic, which I love, and I think is such a great way to celebrate Halloween, which is like cooking a recipe that's been in the family for years. And like spending time with your ancestors in the kitchen, talking to them, kind of cleaning your house. That can be a ritual.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been like purging shit, throwing stuff away, and
Purging's
it feels so good. Yeah.
It feels good to let go of shit.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like we don't need the Forever 21 top anymore that we had 10 years ago.
No, it's time to let it go. It's time to go buy a new Forever 21 top. Just kidding. Ow, I just hit myself
Fast
in the
fashion,
face.
no. Oh, did you hit it? Oh my God. Wait, I do have one question, because I see this all over TikTok. It's a hot crystal question. Moldavite? Why is everyone freaking out about Moldavite? Is it like a crazy crystal? Does it have crazy energy? And should we look at something else that's maybe a little bit more chill, like malachite or something else?
So great question. I mean, I have never owned one, but it's partly because anytime I've ever heard about it as well, is it's thought to be a space meteor that like crashed into the earth. And that's what made this crystal. So it's literally like foreign object from space. And so the energy of it is supposed to be really intense. And like, if you are thinking about making a change and you've been resistant and you have it, supposedly it like forces you into it, and it can feel really harsh and really intense.
Yeah, because like we're earthlings. We're meant for earth crystals.
Exactly. But if you're somebody who's super resistant, might not be the worst idea to have a small one. Maybe that will be like a little bit of medicine, but
A little push, a baby push.
It's also well, compared to other crystals, Moldavite's quite expensive because of that.
Yeah.
It's a limited amount from outer space.
Yeah. Okay, so choose wisely.
Yeah.
You know, don't follow the TikTok trend. You know, be careful out there.
I just thought of one more question I want to ask too. Okay, so I recently watched Eat, Pray, Love. It took me 3 days to get through it because I was like, it wasn't as good as it was the first time around. I feel like
3 parts. You watched Eat, Pray, and then Love.
Actually, that's what I did. That's actually what I did, and I was like, and it actually, this is so cheesy, but it did inspire me to be like, you know what, I can go to Paris by myself. But when she's in India, the guru tells her that he's like, stay grounded with 4 legs on the ground. And I was like, oh dang, like that stuck with me a little bit. But I'm like, what I want to ask you is like, how do you like ground yourself when there's so many things to consider about like what you want and who you are and all the things, how you want to live your life? How do you stay grounded and be like just approaching everything in a grounded way? How?
So it is my personally, it's my biggest struggle, is staying grounded. We've talked about this. I'm someone who's experienced anxiety from a young age. I'm incredibly ambitious. I have a bunch of different things cooking at once, always. And so for me, it is hands down, when I get outside into nature, the things melt away. And so that is how I ground. It is sitting outside and breathing. It is putting my hands on the ground sometimes when I'm feeling really overwhelmed. It is floating in the ocean, laying in the sand, putting my hands in the sand.
Laying in the sand for me too, but I don't have sand.
Yeah, it's nature.
Ashley's looking outside for me.
I'm like, we'll find.
She's like,
some.
definitely, we don't have that. Oh, the dogs have like they dug like a pit. I could go lay in.
Perfect.
Like laying with my full body in the sand is like the best thing ever.
Yeah, it's that kind of sensation. But when I'm working with clients and I'm doing grounding exercises, I always do a guided meditation where you just make sure your feet are firmly planted on the floor. And you imagine breathing in earth energy from the bottom of your feet. And as you breathe out, expelling any of the stress that's there. And you just continue to like breathe in that exchange and that regulation as long as you can. And that can really help grounding. Even right now, if you guys think about the chair that's holding you up and let your body sink into it a little bit more and feel yourself being supported by the chair or whoever's listening to this, even if you're driving, just kind of surrendering to the object that we've given the task of holding us instead of clenching our body up from whatever emotions we're feeling.
I'm sorry. The creepy.
I just said surrender because it came up on that card, on my card. It said surrender.
I'm imagining one of our listeners in the car right now and just surrender.
But that also reminds me of like staying in your body, which has been like my lesson for the year because that's helped me with, like, I know you and I have talked about anxiety a lot. Like being in your body is like for me right now is like the best way to experience life, knowing that some of it's going to be hard and some of it's going to be, it's hard to stay with yourself and not abandoning your body or abandoning yourself when things get hard. You have to stay with yourself to support yourself. And that's like, I have to keep relearning that and sending my energy down to my feet. Like I do that a lot, but it's getting easier.
Yep. Yeah.
Does it get easier for you? Because like, you know all the tools. Like,
yeah, I mean, for me, art is that. I mean, that is why I became an art therapist. That's, what I use is like that process of getting into just using color on a page. It really does take out, it's an emptying, it's a container. And so it's kind of taking out all of that noise and it's allowing it to live somewhere else. I also, and you guys might have this somewhere near you, authentic movement, which is something that I do with my own personal therapist. She's a dance movement therapist. But authentic movement is it's a moving meditation with your eyes closed. And there's a lot of group work with it. There's no sound. You just literally listen to how your body wants to move. And it really helps that inner connection and that regulation. It's been life-changing for me. So
I love it.
That's beautiful. Yeah. It's like a good reminder too, to listen to like what you want. Like, what does your body want?
Yes, totally. You start to trust it more, like it's not just here. Like if I tap into here, I have so much more information if I go into my body. So it's, I think it's essential to our well-being.
Yeah. It's like that childlike presence without acid or drugs.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my gosh. Well, thank you so much, Becky. Is there anything else that you want our mashers to know going into this season of Halloween?
Have fun with it. Get witchy. You can always, DM me, ask me questions if you need to. I am here. I love talking about it. And yeah.
And where can we follow along? Because you have an amazing Instagram.
The most beautiful Instagram.
Gorgeous. And it's just like a delight.
It's at the Dreamers Daily Tonic. And soon there's a new company coming called Creatively Coping, where I am trying to bridge my science, my spiritual, and my creative self. And it will be coming to you in a subscription box and a course, so you can get all of your rituals and self-care creative goodies at home.
Yes, Becky. I'm so excited for you. This is the right move. This is the right move. I feel that for you.
Like you are the leader that you want to be. Let's go, Becky.
I'm still scared of her, but I'm trying.
Yes.
You've got this.
So you'll let us know where we can get it when it's available, and we will share it with everybody.
Yes.
We're so excited for you.
December before Christmas time, but fingers crossed.
People need it then. People are going to get it out by. I think
so
December
stressful.
sounds good.
Oh my God. Yeah, the holidays. Holy shit. Hold on to your hats.
That's the best news ever. I'm so excited for you. Keep us posted. We got your back.
So much fun.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Becky.
Talk soon.
Outro.
We've got our air cigarettes.
Smoking.
Sage. Blue sage.
Blue sage.
Hey, we've got an accent going now, don't we?
Blue sage.
Hey, we do. Is this our French accent?
It is not my French. This is my French accent.
It
is very offensive.
Oh my God.
If anyone, if I was a French person and someone had that accent to my face, I'd be like, you need to fuck off.
Oh my gosh.
I do have a lot of English friends, and I will do my overly Cockney accent.
Do they like it when you do that?
They laugh. They do laugh. They're like, oh my God. And then I love when they do an American accent.
Oh no. The easiest is the Valley Girl, right?
No. So my friend Simon, Teresa's husband, will be like, how about another hot dog? And it's kills me every time. I'm like, oh my God.
I mean, you do like hot dogs. One time, Ashley you won the hot dog eating contest.
I did. I guzzled that sucker down.
She was the winner, and I sat there with a knife and fork.
I mean, you were picking it apart, and then Danielle, I mean, it was.
She tried to win. You guys were.
But she's a lesbian, so I feel like
you had the advantage.
I had the advantage of hot dog guzzling.
She has no gag reflex. This took a trip. We just took a trip there.
Took a trip down memory lane.
Down memory lane.
Oh my God. On that note, okay, get your altars, get your hot dogs.
Get it
all.
Get it, hit it. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We love you. Thank you to Becky Pappa for coming on.
The best.
Literally the best.
The best.
And follow
Dreamers
us
Daily
on
Tonic.
Dreamers Daily Tonic. Follow her. Get ready for her subscription box. I'm definitely signing up for that.
Yes, holy shit, when she said that, I was like, what?
Teach me.
I don't even have to think. I just get shit delivered to me, and yes.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. And she's so thoughtful about it. I know it's going to be really good because she will put so much thought into it. So follow her, follow us at Mashley Comedy. Send our podcast to your friends, you guys. That's how we've been growing. Thank you so freaking much. We're so excited about this season, and we're so grateful to have you. Mwah.
Toodles.